Yo, what's going on guys? HyperX here. Welcome back to another video for Marvel's Midnight Suns. The game launches later on this week, and today I want to put together a handy guide to get you guys ready for launch. Some of you may have been following this game closely, with your eyes on every tiny detail. Meanwhile, some of you may still have questions as to what exactly this game is and what it has to offer. So today I want to go over 5 things you need to know about Marvel's Midnight Suns before you play the game. That way you know what it's all about, some of the core mechanics, and some of the exciting things you have ahead of you. So if you do enjoy this, then a like would be super appreciated. Let me know in the comments down below if you are going to be playing this game, and also who is your favourite Marvel hero or villain. Drop them down below. I also want to give a massive shout out to 2K for very kindly sponsoring this video and giving us early access to the game so we could bring you these videos. So let's begin at number 1. What exactly is Marvel's Midnight Suns? Well, you can see this as the ultimate crossover event. This new game not only combines a rich story with deep character relationships that you can build throughout, but it also has the customization and progression of an RPG, all interwoven with the tactical strategy and combat mechanics of a new turn-based card game. But when I say card game, don't think you're going to be placing cards down on a table in defense mode and tapping them to activate your trap card. The cards you play will influence your heroes in battle and result in some truly epic, screen-filling super moves that will devastate your opponents. This game is also set in the darker side of the Marvel universe and will see you forging bonds with legendary heroes and dangerous supernatural warriors in the fight against one of the world's greatest threats. So it's safe to say, if you like Marvel, be that the comics, the movies, the games, whatever, if you like your heroes, there'll be something for you here. And if you like your turn-based tactical games, then likewise there's something for you to sink your teeth into. And if you like both, then even better. However, moving on from there to number 2. This game is not XCOM. Despite the fact that the developer for this is Firaxis, a studio well known for the XCOM series, paired with the fact that of course this is a turn-based tactics game with a hub that you return to in between missions, the similarities between Marvel's Midnight Suns and XCOM really don't go much beyond that point. Sure, you'll be controlling your heroes and missions, moving them around in tactical ways to get control of the battlefield and line up devastating attacks to best take out as many opponents as possible, all whilst managing your wider team to avoid getting them taken out during the enemy turns. However, that is ultimately just the crux of the tactics genre in general. Marvel's Midnight Suns layers a card game component on top, which will see you using a wide array of hero moves to dispatch your enemies. However, in addition to this, since this game is all about heroes, the conventional XCOM setup wouldn't really have worked. If you had Iron Man using a photon laser beam to do a measly 5 damage to an enemy, it wouldn't really feel right. So this time you have a mix of basic troops who get wiped out with any and all attacks, and stronger boss-like enemies who can stand up to some of your powers. This in turn then allows the game to create a sense of power, a sense that you truly are a superhero, capable of wiping out some enemies in one fell swoop, while still of course providing a suitable challenge throughout. So in essence, the game has the core tenets of a strategy game that you will love, albeit with some power tweaks to make it feel better when controlling superheroes capable of saving the world. So with that in mind, number 3, how does gameplay work? Well, you assemble a team of heroes. Sometimes these are fixed based on story missions, other times you can pick and choose who you want to bring, and each hero has a deck of cards. In combat, you have basic cards, which can be used to perform quick attacks, but these attacks also build a resource known as heroism. This is shown in the bottom right hand corner. Heroism is the resource needed to play some of the more powerful cards, these sort of screen-filling, over-the-top superhero moves that lay waste to hordes of enemies. In addition to this, you also have skill cards that can be played. You have a number of card plays each turn, so instead of in something like XCOM where you move each unit a fixed time, in this you can, if you so wish, play multiple attack cards from the same hero, or split them up as you see fit. Keep in mind your attacks are also dependent on the cards that you have drawn, so if one hero doesn't have any available, then you'll have no choice but to lean more heavily into another. In addition to attacks, you can also move relatively freely around the battlefield, which is important since some moves have knockback, so you'll want to position yourself correctly to maximise this effect. You can also redraw cards during your turn too, if perhaps you don't have the cards you want or need to play. There are also environmental interactions that can be done alongside your card plays, where you can throw rocks, canisters or objects at enemies, so this freedom to move as opposed to being tied to a grid really does open up the tactical options for some truly epic battles. However, moving on from there to number 4, what do you do outside of missions? Well, there's more to Marvel's Midnight Suns than battling. Between missions, you have the Abbey, which if you've played XCOM games before, you could liken to your ship, only there's much more going on here. Between missions, you can interact with other characters and heroes and foster your relationships with them. You can decode items that you get in missions to earn new cards. You can explore the grounds to find items. uncover mysteries, unlock new abilities, and earn sweet customization options, and this area expands as you progress throughout the game. So this area really does feel much more than just a quick pit stop between missions. There are genuine gameplay aspects to exploring here, and while optional at times, it's well worth investing time in. We'll be speaking more in depth about the Abbey in a subsequent video, so I'll keep this brief for now, but just know there's a lot to do here. And then finally, number 5, plenty of customization. When you begin the game, you're introduced to the Hunter, the customizable legendary warrior hero that you play as, alongside of course the other heroes in the game. This hero is customizable, and while when you first make them you might think the options are a little limited, that's just because that's only the beginning. Later on you can dive back into customization to tweak them further, and then as you progress throughout the game you'll unlock more costume items for both use in the Abbey and in combat. And these items aren't just for the Hunter, they're also for the other heroes too. So you can equip some of their famous comic book outfits, many of which need to be unlocked through progression or interactions in the Abbey. So if customization is your jam, then there is a lot to unlock. But that, my friends, is pretty much it for the time being. Those are a few things you need to know about Marvel's Midnight Suns ahead of the game launching later on this week. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys have any more questions. Let me know if you guys are going to be diving in and playing for yourself. And of course, do be sure to keep it locked for plenty more. In the meantime, if you've missed some of the videos on the channel, you can check out one of the ones linked on screen right now. We'll also be speaking more about the Abbey in a video later on, so if that interests you, then turn on notifications so you don't miss that upload.